Oh yeah, today I've got my Grail figure and we're gonna be reviewing it. It's this guy from a line that is very popular because I was able to buy this for like £3 somewhere. I forgot where. Um, but yeah, I've been waiting for this figure. I've been looking for it for a long time. Finally got it in my hands and I'm so excited to review it today. I am just shaking with excitement. If you could see me right now, I'd be vibrating like the Flash or something. But in all seriousness, pardon that awful late April Fools. Today we're going to be reviewing this guy. Now, this is my real Grail figure. One of them, at the least. One of them at the very least. Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian, season 2. Man, this figure has been on my mind for a long time. It just looks great, and I've finally got it. I've been lucky enough to find one, uh, and buy it and get it delivered to my household. So yeah, we're gonna unbox it and then we're gonna bring it in, uh, look at it, find the details, and yeah, see how it is. Hopefully, it's as good as I think it is, as one of my Grail figures. Um, so yeah, either this video is gonna be me crying for like 15 minutes, or it's gonna be me just smiling, having fun, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. But yeah, let's open it up. I think for the most part, I don't know how this video is gonna go. Because at the moment, I've just been reviewing Power Rangers stuff. But I can assure everyone that there will be other things being reviewed. I'm not exclusively Power Rangers. I did have that one movie review that was kind of that was kind of a thing. We'll move past that, but here he is out of the box, and all of his there he is out of the box. All of his most of his accessories nearly fell onto the floor. So we'll just start by looking at him. The packaging is really nice. Nice small box, compact, doesn't take up much room. But we'll look at him without the cape first, so we can get a look at the details. And here he is, Luke, the man Skywalker. Now, not to confuse you guys, it's not Luke, it's Luke. Little that's a little Star Wars Legends joke there for all of you Star Wars nerds. Not a very good one, but um, first off, again, like we could focus. That would be lovely. Tamashii Nations, when it comes to aesthetics, just looking at the figure, they're usually just they're excellent when it comes to for me at the very least they're excellent when it comes to the aesthetics of a figure. Now they used to do a thing with their human what were they called live action figures where they would have the hair in a shiny color, which I don't get. um, but I think they've been changing that. So there's no shininess. Like the previous Luke figure did have golden hair. I think some of the MCU figures as well. I think the 4-1 had golden hair, which is a strange choice. I don't know what they were trying with that, but this guy looks really good. There's a nice matte finish. Uh, there is glossiness on the boots and the glove. It creates a nice contrast. Um, the hair's got some. I don't know if there's like light shading on the hair. It's like a dark brown, and there's like shading, a lighter kind of brown on top. I think don't know if that's the light or not, but there's depth in the hair from the looks of it. And then the fabric for the robe, well, the tunic, that looks nice. That's a nice matte color to help sell the fabric appearance. I mean, just looking at it, it looks like it would be fabric. Like the sculpt work on here, the vest, tunic, robe, looks incredible. Like there's little, just just like the little bits of fabric that have been. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, the fabric looks just really, really good, really well sculpted. The body, at first glance, you think. At first glance, I think it. I first glance, I would assume that it's the previous Luke body, and they've just added things on top. But I think it is a new sculpt because there are butterflies here that are part of the tunic, and the neck, the chest area here, the neck is different. I think the feet are different and the arms are slightly different. Well, I do have the old Luke, so we can compare. This part's a floating piece, which is fine by me. This part is very soft. It has the kind of old style. I can't really. You can see that as very dark. It has the old style hips, so it doesn't have like the weird butt kind of stuff. Yeah, I think overall this guy looks really, really nice. The head looks good. Looks really good. Of course, this is based off of the CG season 2 Luke, but this is a great older Luke. Um, yeah, I don't know if it's better than. I don't know if the likeness is better than the previous one because that one was pretty spot on, if you ask me. But again, we can compare. The belt is really nice. It's a little pouch. But yeah, overall, this figure looks good. This, like, if you're looking for a really nice looking premium Mando season 2 Luke, or a hell, even a Return of the Jedi Jabba's Palace Luke, this would do. I think. I think swap out the hand um, with one that's non-gloved, maybe the peg as well, because that's black. Then you've got like a really good looking Return of the Jedi Luke. Yeah, this guy looks fantastic. Tamashii Nations, yeah, they've done a great job here. Done a good job with the aesthetic. But yeah, I think I'm gonna move in to the. I'm gonna do a more in-depth review of the articulation, but just as a quick kind of thing, the articulation seems pretty good. The skirt piece is soft, so you can get some articulation. Yeah, the one thing I was really worried about was the waist, because usually with waist joints like this, they're quite underwhelming, but with this seemed pretty okay. I think if I was designing a Luke figure, not that I'm good at designing action figures or anything, I may have gone with a soft goods tunic, so that the articulation in the chest could be like you can go all out with the chest articulation, because you only get a joint here, but I could be completely wrong. But yeah, this guy looks great. This guy looks fantastic. Yeah, let's look at the accessories. We get his cloak, which looks good. Looks good. It is tied. Focusing. Which is tied here. Which is tied here, but the hood has a wire. The bottom has a wire, which is good. Um, though I do prefer if there was wires running up here, so you could hold it up, to get some more dynamic poses. But this is okay. I don't really handle soft goods, so I don't know if it is like great or anything. But you get lots of hands. Some of them have fallen, but you get a couple of gloved hands, free gloved hands, and then a couple of ungloved hands. And then the coolest thing is this lightsaber moving effect, which is great for posing, great for action scenes. You get the lightsaber, of course, which looks fantastic. You get the ignited saber. But yeah, it's a pretty good spread. Chair squeaking. That's a pretty good spread of accessories. Maybe an alternate head would be cool if he was like smiling. I do love Star Wars characters who are smiling. I don't know why. I just like smiling heads in general. Um, yeah, there is a seam there, so I think maybe no. Yeah, that seam is a bit. That seam is a little bit dodgy, and there's like a giant difference in color as well. I don't know if that's just an issue with the one I have, or if that's widespread. But you can see it's just it's kind of shiny here, and then it's kind of matte here, lighter, darker. That looks really weird. It looks a little better here. Kind of blends a bit more, but here the blending is not that good with the color. So that I think that's a markdown for the aesthetic, at the very least. But I think for the most part, a lot of people would be posing this with the cape. That kind of completes the look. But overall, this guy looks good. Bringing this figure in for a closer look, the wonderful aesthetic is already apparent. The combination of the sculpt of the tunic and its matte finish really brings this piece of clothing to life. The way the sculpt simulates a sewing pattern, with small lines going diagonally across the length of the tunic, along with the tufts of fabric, to add some wear, adds a great deal of realism and detail, though I'm not sure if it's screen accurate. But speaking of realism, let's highlight the likeness, with it being near perfect in my eyes. It's certainly better than the Return of the Jedi Luke, which is already decent, bar the hair colour. Though this new Luke does have an issue with the hair on one side, but it could just be my copy. Now moving on to the rest of the body. The base suit under the tunic is a whole new sculpt, separate from the Return Luke, though it features similar elements, such as the collar piece. In fact, the whole body is a new sculpt, featuring the same elements such as the arms and legs, but with new changes to the articulation and the sculpt. Think of it as a Goku 1.0 versus a Goku 2.0 situation. Moving on to my favorite part, the accessories. Luke comes with a pair of fist hands, a pair of open hands, relaxed hands, a curved hand to recreate his pose from the Mando Season 2 final, and of course gripping hands. He comes with his lightsaber, which is wonderfully detailed with buttons painted and all, that can also fit on his belt, but that's not the best part. Of course he comes with an ignited piece for his lightsaber, but he also comes with a piece that simulates the lightsaber in motion, which is awesome. This is great for any action scene on the shelf, but I must warn that the piece has a tendency to fall out of the port, so keep that in mind. But that could just be my copy. To finish the accessories, he comes with a posable cloak, which is a nice addition, but the execution could be much better with how the hood interacts with the figure. It never falls quite right, and I wish there were wires going up the front of the cloak, but at the moment, there are only wires running around the hood and the bottom. But overall, the amount of accessories are great. Now let's move on to the articulation. The head has decent movement, with a joint in the head and the neck for added nuance, but the collar piece does get in the way sometimes. The arms, I believe, are connected with a ball hinge, with floating pieces on each side for the butterfly joint. There's good range here, but it can be finicky when trying to get him into good poses. There's a swivel where the ball hinge connects into the arm, and a single jointed elbow, which gives you more than 90 degrees, along with a butterfly joint that gives good range. One of my favorite things about this figure are the wrists, as they can be pulled out away from the cuff for extra posing or ease when swapping hands. Either way, you're able to get an insane amount of movement when these joints are pulled out, and the best thing is, it's all adjustable. Moving down, the torso has a single ball joint at the waist, giving decent forward movement, questionable back movement, and a good tilt. The legs might be the most disappointing aspect of the articulation, with the legs being a hassle to move against the tunic piece. Going forward and backwards, there's some decent movement though to be found. The single jointed knees give more than 90, and the ankles have decent forward, good back, and a decent rocker. The toe joint is fine too, though a boot swivel would be much appreciated. Looking at scaling, here he is next to the Black Series Obi-Wan, the Figuarts Return of the Jedi Luke, and the Figuarts Boba Fett. Moving on, here's a McFarlane Batman, along with a head swap Moira McTaggart. In conclusion, this figure is a dream for me. It's almost like I'm holding a mini Mark Hamill in my hands. The sculpt works to incite a feeling of gravitas which I feel is appropriate for a Jedi Master such as Luke Skywalker. His posing can be tricky though when his arms and legs are brought into question, but there is no lack of awesome poses you can get the Jedi into, and that fact is only helped with the amount of accessories available. If you're looking for a high quality Luke Skywalker, this is definitely the one to be looking at. Tamashii have done a great job here, and this figure is certainly going to be my definitive Luke going forward. If you enjoyed the video, a sub and a like would be much appreciated. And thank you for all of those who've already subscribed, and for all you watchers new and returning. May the Force be with you, and thank you.